It is a nasty document. Those are cuts that I do not want to implement because I think they are far too steep. I don't think that we're funding adequately our critical priorities.
That's Governor Edwards talking about the state of Louisiana's budget debate. We're six weeks away from the legislative session, and a majority of that time will be spent trying to fill looming billion-dollar budget shortfall.
The governor released a proposed budget showing massive cuts to state programs if the budget gap doesn't get filled. And as Josh Many reports, the governor and other state lawmakers are still trying to figure out how to balance the budget.
We're not trying to grow government beyond what is needed to provide the services that the people of Louisiana need, deserve, and demand.
Governor John Bel Edwards is urging the legislature to raise revenue to prevent his so-called doomsday budget from taking effect.
The plan that I gave to the legislature is giving the legislature its own plan. I took the recommendations from a task force that was created by the legislature to study these issues and make recommendations for how to proceed with long-term structural tax reform in a way that produces more fairness, more predictability, and more stability.
Without additional revenue, higher ed and health programs face substantial cuts. But State Treasurer John Schroeder says the state's people don't want to continue carrying the state's financial burden.
There is no trust or enough trust. The governor may think the citizens and all the people in Louisiana trust them to raise revenue and to spend it wisely. I would tell you emphatically that is not the case.
Lafayette Representative Nancy Landry says she's not happy with the governor's doomsday budget, but she's optimistic lawmakers in the governor's office will find a solution.
The hope is that we'll have a reasonable budget with cuts to some programs that we'll have to make, and it won't be to the TOPS program. It'll be to other places where we have waste, and we can afford to make cuts that don't hurt people. But usually it always starts out with, a proposal to cut the things that people like the most and the services that people need the most. And as it goes through the process, we find other places to make cuts.
In Baton Rouge, Josh Many, KTC TV3.
A proposal from a Jennings lawmaker to cut TOPS funding for